This, believe it or not, is originally a $12 Casio. This is also what it looks like to have nearly 10 times worth of mods. Why? Why? I think I'm developing some Hasselhoff in there. If you're a regular of this channel, you know that I love me some SKXMOD. They are my go-to guys when it comes to upgrading my Casios, and as you can see, I have their Generation 6 right here. I still love it. It's really beautiful, and it's holding up to its looks because of that hardened coating. Now, they're bringing this same kind of experience not just to G-Shocks, but also to your budget Casios, such as the A168 and the F105. Now, look at that. You could see the difference, and you could literally feel the premiumness of these watches with their very nicely crafted bracelet and that solid case. Now, not only are they raising the luxury on these watches, let's state the obvious though, they are also lowering the bar when it comes to practicality because these are $20 watches from Casio and you're adding over $150 worth of mod parts on it. It's kind of like adding Brembo brakes and superchargers to your jackhammers. Now, no offense to jackhammer enthusiasts out there, all five of you, but you've got to admit there's no practical sense to that. So, what makes this reasonable for us to do as Casio enthusiasts? Well, reasons. The F series of Casio, no, I'm not explicitly introducing the brand, is an icon in horology despite its dirt cheap price and watch snobbery triggering looks. This is the perfect platform for SKX mods to elevate and at the same time snag your GShock money and show off your hipster pals in the lounge. You see, it's that kind of younger audience that seems to gravitate towards these types of watches while they mature their palate towards the next step in the hobby, which are likely G-Shocks and then Seikos. But while they're here, SKXMOD is ready to introduce them to the modding culture, which is a whole different road that anyone can take in the journey. The great thing about this is that it's not as complicated as the other builds. Of course, part of that allure is the assembly of these watches, so SKXMOD is more than welcome to hold anyone's hand through the process. On my wrist, of course, these watches work very well as their footprint is small, but gone are the plasticky feel of their cheap bands and bracelets. This is where SKXMOD shines as they offer a large amount of straps and bracelets to mix and match. These alone makes the massive improvement over the original straps. Pair them up with a hefty steel case and we have a premium feeling watch that outclasses many digital offerings from Casio. I guess you can say that it also toughens up the watch as these materials are not just thicker but also reinforced with a sapphire glass and anti-scratch coating. The color combinations are also plentiful. You can mix and match them along with the different toned buckles. The material used on these straps is FKM rubber, ensuring that it's durable yet supple to wear. In the same manner, the dial is very interchangeable as you can swap between numerous faceplates. These plates are nothing to sneeze at either. They have very crisp prints and some proper finishings. If you don't have the watches lying around, you can also order some stock modules from SKXMOD. This makes them a one-stop shop for all your Casio Square modding needs. Another great thing about them is that they have them both in negative and positive display configurations. Also note that these are authentic Casio modules, so you're basically getting the full upgraded Casio experience here. During my time with these watches, the faceplates gave me a lot of playability and this is because of its really fine quality build. I'm sure if I try hard enough, I'll be able to bend these sheets of metal, and that's a good thing. You see, it's solid enough that effort is needed to deform these parts. They come in various different colors and SKXMOD was generous enough to give us a few to test out. A few of them have this sunburst finish that is not found in the original models. There are other flat variants such as this glossed out black plate that delivers a totally different personality. These make it extra luxurious and I highly recommend getting a few of these for your build. A simple swap of these plates and it changes the impression of the watch completely. The original faceplate of the F series is actually not removable. Keep that in mind so you don't accidentally order just the case for these mods and forget to include the faceplate. While many of you will likely pick the black mod, this watch pirate likes his golden accessories. This is such a fun watch to wear, even though it's a bit harder to pull off with your wardrobe. If you want to grab attention, this is the configuration to go to. Now here's a little warning for everyone. While it does say on the case back that it's coated with hardening material, the feature is only present at the black and silver variants of this case and bracelet. The gold models do not have this scratch resistance. But that's fine, the IP coating holds up really well and it's somewhat resisting some of the daily wear based on my use. Let's pull up our work table and check out the individual parts. The case and bracelet are the clear highlights here, as you can purchase all of these parts separately or buy the whole kit from SKXMOD's store. Here's a breakdown of the parts costs, which are relatively affordable. The module used here is the 3298. This 3-button configuration will help you to orient the module to the watch case. This case is specifically made for this module, but it is possible to install this upside down, so be careful with that. You'll also need to make sure that the text on the faceplate aligns with the buttons on the side. Once you're sure which side is up, you can drop this on the case and align it using the plastic tweezer. Next, you can start dropping the module on the case while making sure that you're not bending the thin metal contacts on the side. Make sure that these contacts are beside and not on top of the button rods. Once the module sits flush on the watch, you can now install the rubber seal on top of this case. There's also a groove where it's supposed to conveniently sit in place. Next is the backplate. This part has a buzzer patch behind it that enables the module to emit its beeping sound. Make sure that you align this on the small spring behind the module and not the battery, where I, mistakenly did the first time. Secure this part using the provided screws and you're almost done. Now, make sure that you don't apply too much pressure on these screws, as it can easily damage the soft threading of these fasteners. And yes, if you had to ask, that has happened before with this watch pirate. Attach your spring bars and you're ready to wear your gold Casio square. All in all, it would take you right around 5 minutes to complete the build, or 25 minutes depending on how many bottles of Guinness is served on your table. Not a sponsor. Now test the buttons out and the beeps. And don't forget the light. Viewers that did not forget commented on these models. Abdul R. Watches said that he'll try to get one for review. AHQ9 said, "Holy cow, the backlight on the negative display is amazing." Mr. Shinobi said that he's not a fan of digital Casios, but he admits that the gold bling looks killer. And finally, Jim Kincaid remarks that it looks like rising out a Honda Civic. Want to be in the videos? Subscribe to be informed and comment to be a watch pirate. I agree with Jim Kincaid. It feels like upgrading a daily beater into something that's on par with an entry-level watch. But at just over $200, this whole thing is still well under the microbrand range. I've bought more expensive G-Shocks than one of these. But in true watch pirate logic, I'm going to lazily craft an excuse to buy this mod. It's $200 worth of wearable time-telling Lego. That's what it is. I've also bought more expensive Legos than these. No matter what your excuse may be, it's a full-fledged Casio with all the features from the brand, but with all the parts that we love on microbrands, all assembled by you. Featured in this video is the gold and black models, but there's also other variants such as the silver and even bronze. Whichever variant it is, they all carry the same tight tolerances and refined edges. The articulation is also commendable, although some links may get stuck like in this shot. I also love that these bracelets use screw pins opposed to the thinner friction kind. The clasp is also much better than what Seiko insists on using, and the case back further emphasizes the upscale persona. It's not perfect, of course, like some of the screws used are rather soft and easy to lose its threading. This is where the other product that SKXMOD is selling you actually kicks in. They're really selling you all of the joys and perils of modding with all of the interchangeable parts available at a reasonable price. If you're willing to do the work, all of the countless combinations at your disposal could potentially replace all of the watches that you would have been buying. Need a white dialed watch? Well, swap out the $10 faceplate rather than buy a whole new timepiece. Lastly, it's the lowered barrier of entry that makes this its own category compared to their Casio line, where there's a bit more of a complicated construction scheme. And as for me, I now have a deeper appreciation for Casio's budget offerings through the impractical transformation done by SKXMOD. And there you have it. That's the Casio mods for your budget Casios. I'm not even going to state the model names now because these are modules that Casio uses for their budget lines of the A168s and the F105s. Actually, I didn't test these on other Casio models because, quite frankly, I don't have them lying around. But I could imagine there are other modules that could fit these mod parts, and if I ever encounter them or have the chance to buy any of them, I'll let you guys know. But these are amazing watches and also gives you the feel of watchmaking in a sense, because now you're diving deeper into the modding scene and not just changing straps and bezels. You're swapping faceplates now, and that's a great experience when it comes to these watches. And if you have the budget to do that, that'd be great. You'll be able to have fun with these. It's kind of like Legos. Actually, it took me a while to take some of the footages. I had so many wild ideas for this video, but I couldn't execute them properly. I ended up just swapping faceplates and not recording those footages. But hopefully you could see that in the video. As you see, I'm having fun with these, even though it's really impractical because you're tripling or multiplying the amount of expenses when it comes to these Casios. But they're scratching the itch. This is my go-to gold watch now so far. Of course, it's no VC222, which is my grail when it comes to gold watches, but it's scratching the itch. It's something that I'm wearing occasionally, not every day. I'm still wearing my Casio Oaks more often than these, but there's a market for these. And if you like these kind of smaller, daintier Casio squares, then SKX mods will spice you up, will raise your luxury game, your premium feel game with these new mod parts. So comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. You already commented below, like Jimmy Kincaid already commented about that Honda Civic comment, which is very nice. And let's see what your guys' opinions about these impractical yet beautiful mod parts for Casios from SKX Mod.